Laker Nation, if somebody would have told me that Westbrook and an AD-led team would lose to the Timberwolves, I would say you crazy. There is no way that Anthony Davis and Brody on the same court, on the same team, would lose to Karl Anthony Towns and the rest of the T-Wolves. Well, tonight proved just that. And that's all coming up next on the Film Room Podcast. Laker Nation, my name is Derek James and I am the host of the Film Room Podcast. Listen, we're just going to get right into it. I'm not going to make this one long. This was a terrible game. We all seen it. Coaching was bad. Players were bad. We started off strong. I don't know what happened. In that second quarter, right after that Melo foul, it just went all downhill. It just went all downhill. So I don't know what was said in the locker room, what was not said in the locker room. But Frank Vogel has got to get these guys together. So there's no way we should be beating Miami and beating the Hornets and go down 30 to the Timberwolves. One of the two has to be a fluke. Being that this is our second game like this, in almost every game we have lost a great lead. Believe it or not, we were up by 11 in this game. And then we went down by at least 34, 36, something like that. I kind of stopped watching. It was bad. It was awful. Everybody was bricking. Carmelo Anthony was like 1 for like 20. Westbrook had more turnovers than points at one point. I mean, it got to the point to where I was just laughing at his turnovers. And I tweeted, is it bad that I'm just laughing at his turnovers at this point? Like they're comical at this point. They're so bad. His turnovers are so bad. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know how a team that's talked about his turnovers and talked about how to change him getting so many turnovers is still getting turnovers. I know that's got to be frustrating to the players, but guess what? It's even more frustrating to the fans. Because the fans don't know. We don't know as a collective group that's rooting for our team to just go out and compete that you have talked about these things, that you are trying to work on these things. Because when we look at these games and we see nothing or no improvement or 2 steps forward and 15 steps back, it's kind of hard to watch. Yeah, it's a make or miss league. But lately, I can't say lately, but tonight, it was definitely a miss league for us. Another thing, I don't know how you can let somebody come to your building, your home, in front of all of your fans and shoot that bad. How do you let another team who never plays on this court, and you always play on this court, or at least 50 to 60% of the time throughout a regular season, it's like for the first half, everything was falling, and then in the second half, it's like they moved the basket or tilted our basket or something. This was terrible shooting. Terrible. I mean, we were missing layups. Kent Bazemore had another 0-point night. I'm going to just go into the box score. I'm 5 minutes in. It's probably going to be a 15-minute pod. The only good thing about this game was Anthony Davis still played pretty solid. Anthony Davis played 30 minutes. He scored 22 points, had 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks. He was 7 for 13 from the field. That's 53%. He was 0 for 1 from 3. That's 0%. And he had a lot of fouls. He had 4 fouls. But I think that was the only good thing about this game. Westbrook played 30 minutes. He scored 20 points. He had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks. He was 7 for 11 from the field. He was 2 for 4 from 3-point range. And had a ton of turnovers. Seriously, like, I just laughed at his turnover. Like it was like, I want to say late in the third or early in the fourth. It was just bad. It was that bad that I didn't even get mad. I just laughed at it. Like, wow. These turnovers are that bad that I don't even have. That's crazy. I'm rooting for Brody. I know he's getting a lot of hate. And I want this narrative to change. But every game he comes out and it's the same narrative. Every game. I'm almost on that train to where it's like, yeah, it may be a good idea to let him go. I'm almost on that train. And that pains me to say that because I was so high on Brody coming to the Lakers. Wayne Ellington, our starting shooting forward this game. He played 27 minutes, scored 6 points. He was 2 for 8 from the field. That's 25%. He was 2 for 7 from 3. That's 28%. Avery Bradley played 26 minutes, scored 5 points. He had 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 2 for 6 from the field. That's 33%. He was 1 for 3 from 3. That's 33%. Kent Bazemore played 15 minutes, scored 0 points, had 2 rebounds. He was 0 for 4 from the field. He was 0 for 3 from 3. Kent Bazemore, on multiple occasions now, has done literally nothing in these games. All I can say is I can't wait till Nunn comes back and LeBron comes back and THT comes back. Because I think Kent Bazemore needs to slide way, 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 way down. That's crazy. And I mean, these are layups too. He was missing layups. Or missed a layup. He was 0% from the field and from 3-point range. As a starting power forward is where they had him labeled. Malik Monk played 28 minutes, scored 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He was 3 for 11 from the field. That's 27%. He was 1 for 7 from 3. That's 14%. Let's just go. I'm not even going to read anybody else's scores. I'm just going to go to our 3-point percentage. Monk was 1 for 7. Rondo was 1 for 4. Carmelo Anthony was 1 for 8. Dwight Howard was 1 for 3. Is that right? Dwight Howard shot 3 threes in this game? DeAndre Jordan didn't play. Austin Reeves is injured. Trevor Ariza is injured. THT is injured. LeBron James is injured. Our 3-point percentage, that's what I'm just going to go over for our bench. Nothing else. Malik Monk was 1 for 7 from 3. That's 14%. Rondo was 1 for 4 from 3. That's 25%. Carmelo Anthony was 1 for 8 from 3. That's 12%. Dwight Howard was 1 for 3 from 3. That's 33%. And yeah. Once again, a team that loves to shoot threes and stay outside instead of getting their points in the paint and moving the ball. We love to just shoot up threes. You know why? Because there's little to no effort in shooting a three. There's little to no effort. And it was embarrassing to watch them tonight. Although this is one game, I'm not going to hang my head on one game. They've been playing outstanding as of late. I just don't know of any other team that has major setbacks like this. That's what's so alarming. Is that you would never think that AD and Westbrook on the same team would lose to Karl Anthony Towns. Cat scored more points in the third quarter than our entire team. 5 minutes into the third quarter, we only had 3 points. 5 minutes in a professional basketball game versus the Timberwolves. It's not like they're a great defensive team, although they did have great defense this game. They seen blood in the water and they went for it. They seen chum. This was worse than the Portland Trailblazers game by far. We were up by 11. Everything seemed to be clicking. And then I don't know what happened. Melo got a foul at halftime. And it all went to shit. That third room, they came out. Maybe something in the locker room. Some fight. I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't explain why every third quarter I get nervous. When we start losing the game, I immediately look up and it's the third quarter. And I said, no wonder. I just look for us to start losing the game in the third quarter. I don't know if that has anything to do with their ages or why we can't keep up the pace. Could be. But not even our old guys. It's our young guys too. It's Bazemore. He was off all game. He's not old. Anthony Davis. He's not old. Malik Monk. He's not old. But everybody else, yeah, they up there. Westbrook. It's not old. I got, what is he, 33? But Wayne Ellington, Avery Bradley, Rondo, Anthony, Dwight Howard, they're a little up there. I really think it starts with all the turnovers, though. I think it starts with the turnovers. But this was so bad. I don't even know what to say. From the coaching staff down to the players. You can just tell that, our offense is just, it's not a good thing. Because any coach I've never seen just not produce offense for stretches of periods like the Lakers. Now, I'm not watching every game. But it's just no competition. It's no competitive nature in the game. Now, I'm all for us playing hard and us losing. But playing hard and losing by 30 is not equal to a team playing hard. You know what I'm saying? That's just no effort. Y'all giving up. Y'all calling it a night. I didn't come to play tonight. I didn't want to play tonight. Whatever the case is. This was a bad loss. And I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm not going to do any of my segments this podcast. This was just terrible. I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear from Laker Nation. What y'all think? What do y'all think the problem is? What do you think we need to... What do you think we need to work on? I want to know it all. Because there's a lot of angry Lakers fans out there. A lot of them. Because this seems to be an ongoing thing. Even the commentators said something like, hey, they said the Portland game, they learned from it. And they move past it, and they turn the page on it, and then they come in here in our house and do this. This is how we represent our house. We scored 83 points. I know somebody tweeted out, somebody that I follow normally has great tweets, tweeted, our offense isn't the problem, it's our defense. And I still beg to differ. It's not our defense. It's our offense. Vogel has no offensive plan for these guys. There is no way that we cannot get the ball in the hole with either AD or Dwight on the floor. The lobs were all over the place. Even the lobs that we got tonight were still they were off. Anthony Davis had to reach all the way around. They're throwing him way up in the air. He has to do some extraordinary move to get the ball. They're making it too hard. It was Russ's birthday today, so I'd imagine, they went out last night for Russ's birthday, maybe celebrated, came in this game really messed up. First half, just going in regular, rotation and movements of the game, kind of like shadow boxing. You know what you're supposed to do, and you go out there and you do a little bit of it and go through the motions of it. And then once the Timberwolves turned it on, it was a freight train. It did not stop. Cat went ham. He cooked AD. I just don't understand how you don't have a competitive spirit, that when somebody is cooking you like that, you don't go back on your side and cook them the same way and say, watch out, everybody, give me the ball. I'm about to show him. I just don't understand how you don't do that. Especially in that jersey, representing those colors in Kobe's house. I just don't see how you do it. Man, if I can't even say that. I didn't even wear any of my Lakers gear to do this podcast. This is how mad I was. It's how mad I am. This is how mad I am. I didn't even wear my Lakers gear. I threw on the Fringe shirt that I sell. I had to put on something that made me happy. Because the Lakers right now ain't doing it. It just makes me feel that those 2 games we won, it's just all for nothing almost. You know what I mean? After one loss. It's fine. Lose by 10. Lose by 11. Lose by 3. Lose by, anywhere in that area. It's fine. You battled. You competed. You put it all out there on the floor. But this game, going down 30, nobody on this team is a prolific scorer. I mean, let's look at the box score. Ant normally goes off, right? How many did Ant have? Ant had 9 points. D'Lo went off. D'Lo had 22 points, but his all came late. Nobody on this team. Only thing I can say is I miss LeBron James. I miss LeBron James so much. Not saying that he would have won this game, but he would at least competed. He wouldn't have let it go down like this. I don't even know what to say. Coaching is bad. But you really can't blame coaching because, you seen him on the floor. You know what I mean? Can't really blame Vogel when your team is playing like that. He tried every lineup. He tried every rotation. And all of them were off. None of them were clicking. Laker Nation, we got a lot of work to do. I don't want to throw Brody under the bus, but I just don't know how many games I can let slide before it's like, I like you as a person. I like your tenacity. I like what you could potentially bring to this team, but every night you're showing me just the opposite. Every night you're showing me that you just don't got it. You're turning the ball over more than you're contributing. That's a problem. If he was contributing as much as he is causing these deficits, and these issues with our team, I would say okay. But at this point, your turnovers and your mistakes are weighted a lot more heavier than what you bring to this team at this point. Because you're under the brightest of lights right now. You are under the brightest of lights. And seeing all those little things that you did in Houston and you did at Washington in the smaller markets have been swept under the rug because they only talked about the triple doubles. They never talked about your turnovers. These turnovers are ridiculous. I have never seen, there's been turnovers before, but these turnovers are just ridiculous. Like there's no reason for them. And it's every night. You're consistently turning the ball over every night with just bonehead passes. These passes are awful. You're passing the ball before you even know the player is there. Now, before I blamed it on they're moving, but tonight, no, it's clear. It's you. You are the problem for your turnovers. I can't really say all the time, because sometimes, like in the last pod, that is the case. You know the player is there. You start attacking. They move. You throw the ball. They're supposed to stay there. I get it. But some of these, it's like if you know, like you as a professional, if you know that they're doing that, you have to change how you play in order to help this team succeed. If you know that they're moving, look before you pass. You know what I'm saying? Before you jump in the air, don't pass. Did I say that right? He jumps in the air and then he passes the ball. At that point, it's too late. Can't do that unless you know the guy is there. These are terrible turnovers. And these turnovers are more than just turnovers. These turnovers are momentum-changing turnovers. I can see the body language in our players after these turnovers. And it's not great. I don't know. Laker Nation, you have been a beautiful crowd. I have been a beautiful host. My name is Derek James, and you have been watching the Film Room Podcast. And I'm out this bit.